Have you ever heard someone talking about you in a foreign language? When my daughter Amelia started working at this small family-owned bakery, I was thrilled. The owners were this sweet elderly Polish couple who made the best pastries in town. They'd been there forever, and I'd grab coffee there most mornings before work. 2 weeks into her job, Amelia started acting weird. She'd come home looking defeated, barely touching her dinner. When I asked what was wrong, she'd just shrug and say she was tired. I knew something was off. She used to love baking and would always come home excited to tell me about new recipes she'd learned. One morning, I decided to surprise her with breakfast before her shift. I got there early and sat in my usual corner spot with my coffee. That's when I overheard the owner speaking in Polish to their son, who'd recently moved back to help run the place. I wouldn't have paid attention except I caught them saying Amelia several times. See, I'd taken some Polish classes in college. Not enough to be fluent, but enough to understand bits and pieces. The more I listened, the colder my coffee got. They were talking about how they could get away with paying her less than minimum wage because she was young and naive. The son laughed, saying they could probably cut her hours without telling her and just blame it on computer errors in the scheduling system. But what made my blood boil was when they started mocking her accent when she tried pronouncing Polish pastry names. The son was recording these moments on his phone to share in some group chat, calling her the stupid American girl. I sat there gripping my coffee cup so hard I thought it might shatter. These were the same people who'd smile at me every morning, who'd given Amelia extra pastries to take home, who'd acted like they'd taken her under their wing. I pulled out my phone and started recording their conversation. They had no idea I could understand them, busy laughing about how they made her clean the bathrooms, even though it wasn't in her job description. When Amelia arrived for her shift, I waited until she went to the back. Then I walked up to the counter and started placing an order in Polish. The son's face went white. The owner stopped mid-conversation. I smiled and pulled out my phone, playing back their conversation. "So about those wage laws you've been breaking," I said, still in Polish, "and those pictures you've been sharing of my daughter without her consent." The son started stammering excuses, switching between English and Polish. The owner's wife burst into tears, but I wasn't buying the act. I'd seen too many of their real faces. I laid out my terms. They'd pay Amelia all her missing wages, write her a glowing recommendation letter, and delete every photo and video they'd taken. If they didn't, I'd be making calls to both the labor board and their immigration office about their expired business licenses. They tried arguing that I had no proof, but stopped when I emailed them the recording right there. "Check your inbox," I said. "I've got copies saved everywhere." Amelia quit that day. The next week, we found an envelope in our mailbox with her back pay, a recommendation letter, and a handwritten apology. The bakery closed down 3 months later. Turns out I wasn't the only one. "They've been cheating, 208.